Welcome to Obedience to the Law of Love, from the Unveiled Mysteries by the Ascended Master Saint Germain, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Guy Warren Ballard was a United States mining engineer and co-founder, together with his wife Edna Ann Wheeler Ballard, of the I Am spiritual movement, inspired by his life-changing meeting with the Ascended Master Saint Germain. One morning in 1930, Mr. Ballard, led subconsciously by his inner spiritual longing, went on a hike on beautiful Mount Shasta, located in the western US, where, according to legend, a group of divine adepts reside or could be seen. His sincerity and deep longing for the truth led to a profound experience that day. He was blessed by the appearance of the beloved Master Saint Germain. Following this enlightening encounter, Mr. Ballard devoted his life to spreading the Master's wisdom according to his capacity. From Master Saint Germain's dictations and teachings, Mr. Ballard wrote a series of books under the pseudonym Godfrey Ray King. Master Saint Germain's imparted spiritual knowledge was the basis for many lectures given by Mr. Ballard, as well as for the founding of the I Am religious activity in the early 1930s. By 1938, it had up to 1 million followers. Today, the volumes documenting the valuable mysteries revealed by the Ascended Master to Godfrey Ray King are still a fascinating spiritual gem for many across the globe. The three most famous volumes are titled Unveiled Mysteries, The Magic Presence, and the I Am Discourses. Ascended Master Saint Germain is deeply venerated among the Theosophical Society, as he represents the establishment of the Aquarian Age, an era that we are privileged to be witnessing. He is also identified with the Count of Saint Germain, a mysterious European figure who possessed a great inner knowledge and was called immortal by some due to his everlasting youth. Let us now continue with the reading from Godfrey Ray King's book titled Unveiled Mysteries. What follows is the fascinating speech of a cosmic master who, during his presence at the King's banquet, reveals great truths about the most essential universal law, the law of love. Excerpt from Chapter 2, The Sahara Desert. When the children of earth look away from love, they are deliberately and consciously choosing the experience of chaos. Whoever seeks to exist without love cannot survive long anywhere in creation. Such efforts are bound to bring failure, misery, and dissolution. By its very condition, it must return to chaos, the unformed, so it may be used over again in combination with love, and thus produce a new form. This is the law of universal as well as individual life. It is immutable, irrevocable, eternal, yet beneficent. For creation in form exists, that God may have something upon which to pour out love, and so express in action. This is the law of the Mighty One, from which all else proceeds. It is the mandate of eternity, and the vastness and brilliance of that perfection cannot be described in words. If there were not these actual, real, permanent and perfect conditions of life and experience, which far transcend human description, existence would be but a travesty upon the stupendous activity of life that swings forever throughout creation. There are those higher, harmonious, transcendent spheres, realms of activity and consciousness, individual and cosmic, where creation goes on continually in joy, in love, in freedom, and in perfection. These are real, and much more permanent than your bodies and buildings in the physical world about you. These realms of life are created of substance which is so charged with love that they can never have a quality or activity of discord, imperfection, or disintegration imposed upon them or registered within them. Because they are based upon love, the perfection of such a manifestation is forever maintained, ever active, ever expanding, ever blessing with the joy of all that exists. You bring woe upon yourselves, which propels you into embodiment again and again in the ignorance of the senses, the human appetites and desires of the outer self. These appetites, in the feeling nature of mankind, are in themselves but an accumulation of energy which the individual, through his thought and feeling, has given a quality of one kind or another. This misqualified energy gathers a momentum through human expression and becomes habit. Habit is but energy specifically qualified and held focused for a time upon one objective. The sense appetites of former lives become the driving forces and habits of the next, keeping you slaves, bound to the chariot wheels of discord, lack and necessity, whirling you through a maze of human problems and experiences of your own creation, compelling you to learn and obey the law of the one, love. Your own miscreations drive you on and on and on until you are willing to understand life and obey its one law, love. You whirl through life after life, experiencing discord upon discord, until you do learn to live the law of love. This is a compelling activity which none escape, and it continues until the outer self asks the reason for its misery and understands that its release from the experience of suffering can only come through obedience to the law of love. Such obedience begins as calm, peace, and kindliness in the feelings, whose center is in the heart. Its contact with the outer world must come through the inner feeling. Love is not an activity of the mind, but is the pure and luminous essence which creates mind. This essence from the great God flame streams into substance and constantly pours itself out as perfection in form and action. Love is perfection manifest. It can only express peace, joy, and an outpouring of those feelings to all creation unconditionally. It asks nothing for itself, because it is eternally self-creating, being the heartbeat of the Supreme. Love owns all and is only concerned with setting the plan of perfection into action in all. Thus, it is a constant pouring out of itself. It takes no cognizance of what has been given in the past, but receives its joy and maintains its balance by the continual outstreaming of itself. Because this perfection is within love, forever flowing forth, it is incapable of recording anything but itself. Love alone is the basis of harmony and the right use of all life energy. In human experience, this grows into a desire to give and give and give of all the individual's peace and harmony unto the rest of creation. People, oh people, forever throughout the ages, only enough love can bring you back to the heaven you once knew and abided in. Here, you will once again embrace the fullness of the great light that gives all through love. A visiting prince approaches your borders. He will enter this city, seeking the daughter of your king. You will come under the rule of this prince, but the recognition of your mistake will be futile. Nothing can avail, for the royal family will be drawn into the protection and care of those whose power and authority are of God, and against whom no human desire can ever prevail. These are the great ascended masters of light from the golden etheric city over this land. Here, your ruler and his beloved children will abide for a cycle of time. Turning to the king, he addressed him, saying, "I bless you, my noble, patient brother. Loving and selfless has been the service to your people. Deep and eternal is your devotion to the Supreme One, the source of all creation. The golden etheric city awaits and joyously welcomes you and your children. Within its radiance you shall live, serving through the rays of light which are forever streaming out from those who dwell therein, until these, your people, shall redeem themselves by obedience to the law of love." This empire of light exists over the land you have loved so well. It is composed of self-luminous etheric substance and rests above the physical city, which is your capital. It is real, very real, and much more permanent than any earthly city, for light is indestructible, and the golden city is made of light. Into it, no inharmonious thought or disturbing condition of any kind can ever enter. I will return in 7 days to take you and your children into the City of Light, where we shall watch the progress of humanity and draw into the light all who will discipline and make themselves ready. Encircling the city is an invincible belt of electronic force through which it is impossible for anything uninvited to pass. When he had finished speaking, he blessed the royal family, the guests and the empire, and in the moments of silence that followed, his light and the outline of his body within it grew fainter and fainter until it disappeared entirely. A murmur passed through the great banquet hall, and as all looked toward the king, his head was bowed in reverent silence. Then he slowly rose and bid his guests good night. On the 7th day, the brother from out the silence returned, and enfolding the king and his children within his own blazing aura, withdrew into the golden etheric city of light. For more information on the Ascended Master Saint Germain, the I Am Teachings and Godfrey Ray King's books, please visit saintgermainfoundation.org or saintgermainfoundation.ch. Kind-hearted viewers, it was an honor to have your company for today's Words of Wisdom.